36-hour Gen Z protest with a death toll of 56 caused a regime change in Nepal. Now culminated into a new interim Prime Minister taking oath. Sushila Karki, a jurist who was almost impeached as the Chief Justice, is the interim leader of Nepal. The parliament has been dissolved and institutions like the Nepal Singha Darbar, the Supreme Court building, have turned to ashen ruins. While a tenuous calm returns, the smoke of the fires that were ignited on 8th September remains. Sushila Karki has hit the ground running, visiting some sites and meeting victims.
Nepalese want to see normality returning to this country as soon as possible. They are expecting justice and also elections after 6 months. So these are the priorities, and people are just hoping and praying that everything goes according to plan. And former Chief Justice, who was the first female Chief Justice in 2016, is now the first female Prime Minister. Interim Prime Minister Sushila Karki can deliver on her promises.
Despite her clear intent that she would hold elections in just 6 months, there's a pushback from the old guard, questioning the place of the new interim government in the existing constitution.
Opposition parties, the former ruling parties and the former parliamentary parties, all the political parties represented in the past government led by Oli and the dissolved parliament, are unhappy that the parliament has been dissolved. There was no constitutional provision whatsoever to dissolve the parliament, so that has been breached. So they are not happy with this new constitutional process. They think this is unconstitutional, and they are demanding that the parliament that has been dissolved be reinstated as soon as possible. So they have 7 political parties, including Nepali Congress, CPN, UML, CPN Maoist, and all these parties issued a statement yesterday, 8 political parties, I think, and they have demanded restoration of the dissolved House of Representatives, dissolved Parliament.
In a joint release, the leaders of 8 political parties, Nepali Congress, CPN, UML, CPN Maoists, CPN Unified Nationalist, JSP, Janmat Party, Loktantrik Samajwadi Party and Nagrik Unmukti Party have called the Karki government against the spirit of the existing constitution.
Most of them are in against to Karki government because they said that is not formatted by the constitution, but the youth revolution that is only happened in the once a decade in decades. So some of them are welcoming Karki government and they are saying that is good for fresh mandate. But most of them, including CPN, UML, Nepali Congress, Maoist and other major political parties, they said that is not made by the constitution.
Nepal Parliament has 275 members, of which 165 are directly elected, while 110 are nominated. President Ramchandra Paudel had dissolved the existing house and has sought cooperation from all political parties with the Karki government.
Karki, I think Karki should be exit. The Balen and Ravi has some legal issues because he is in a jail now. But after the revolution, if the legal process will release him, he can be a leader. But the most of youth thinking that the Balen should be a leader.
Experts on Nepal constitution believe, though it got branded as Gen Z protest, it was in the making for a while. Due to poor governance delivered by an inefficient multi-party democracy.
There was a huge concentration of huge power to the political office but there was a zero accountability. Power with no accountability. That was the situation in Nepal, and the same person, same group of people, bunch of people, they are ruling the nation since last 30 years. So it created a deep sense of frustration. So that's the one of the reason. That's why there was a boiling point in the process.
With Karki in the saddle, it is time now to heal and to make active efforts by the interim government to bridge the trust deficit and curb structural corruption in Nepal.
There has to be a full accountability for perpetrators who engineered, the massacre in 8 September. So their accountability has to be, established, because there was a massacre and innocent student, innocent youth population was ruthlessly, mercilessly killed. It was a kind of massacre, genocide. So their accountability has to be established, and there has to be credible investigation, and there has to be command, responsibility has to be applied.
We have very little, much options to choose, and the only some leaders are playing the musical chairs from the past 3 decades. I count only 3 to 5 leaders are playing musical chairs. But when if the election held in between the 6 months, I hope as a journalist, as a people of Nepal, as a supporter of the new revolution, and there will be must new leadership have to come, and they should take leadership and take all the changes to their power.
Amid all this, where is India? Geopolitical observers have also cautioned about a spillover effect.
Instability in the neighborhood actually hems India in, because turbulence in your neighborhood has an immediate impact on us. In some cases, like in Bangladesh, it has a huge impact because a friendly regime is transformed into a polity which is relatively hostile. In Sri Lanka, we saw a huge economic downturn to the relationship for some time. And now in Nepal, a country with which we have an open border, you had a state of virtual anarchy. So all these create security implications for India, and huge security implications. Now, is there a foreign hand? I have no doubts that there are certain foreign agencies which are helping bring about this sort of turbulence and this sort of regime change.
India looms large, and many times it has resented. The reason why the Modi government watched the developments with concern and quickly supported the new arrangement.
मुझे विश्वास है कि वे नेपाल में शांति, स्थिरता और समृद्धि का मार्ग प्रशस्त करेगी। नेपाल की पहली महिला प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में सुशीला जी का आना महिला सशक्तिकरण का वह बहुत उत्तम उदाहरण है। मैं आज नेपाल में ऐसे हर एक व्यक्ति की सराहना करूंगा जिसने ऐसे अस्थिरता भरे माहौल में भी लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों को सर्वोपरि रखा।
As Bansal says, we are the stabilizing force in the region.
I think India has to be more proactive. As the legitimate big power in this region, we have to be more proactive. We have to integrate ourselves with our neighbors even more. I think there is some amount of xenophobia which has actually crept in India for some time. But we need to be more proactive. Like in the case of Bangladesh, I have no reasons to believe that we should not have acted. We should have acted because Sheikh Hasina's government was, and to my mind is still, the most legitimate government of Bangladesh. Now, of course, in Nepal's case, again, we should actually ensure that there is stability. We should provide full cooperation. And I think by doing so, we should project to the world how India can be and is a stabilizing force. And consequently, the entire global south should look up to us and seek succor from us whenever there is a crisis like this in their countries.
As Nepal looks ahead, with Sushila Karki declaring that she is only here for 6 months and polls are announced for March 5th next year, political reality suggests that much more has to be done for stability to come back in the country known for being a playground for global powers.